Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Itadori Yuji. Let's get right into it. Itadori Yuji is a relatively normal 15-year-old high school student, and I say relatively normal taking into account that this is an anime. And so he was living a pretty normal life. He went to high school, and of course, because he's the protagonist, he was not very good at school. Um, you know, he was a pretty average student, but he also had superhuman abilities. He had, enhanced reflexes, enhanced speed, enhanced, um, hand-to-hand proficiency, superhuman strength, just, normal anime stuff, nothing extraordinary. And so, he spent most of his time just living, just taking care of his grandpa outside of school and not doing anything extraordinary. But that was until episode one, or, well, part one of the manga, whatever you're reading off of. But I'm only going off the anime. I don't want to, spoil anything for anyone. So okay, I probably should have said this a bit earlier considering we're a minute in. But all of this information is going to be assuming that you have watched up until the end of the first season of the anime. Just so spoiler alert if you haven't. Okay? Itadori Yuji in the first episode, or first chapter of the manga, met Megumi, who was a sorcerer, a Jujutsu sorcerer to be exact, and who was tracking down a cursed object, which just happened to be one of Sukuna's fingers. Sukuna is the strongest curse in the in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. He is referred to as the king of the curses, and essentially he was split up into, or he is split up into 10 separate parts. He's split up into 10 separate fingers. However, those fingers are very, very powerful, and there's like special grade cursed objects, one that are heavily regulated, and as soon as the college comes into contact with any of them, they tend to, keep it away in a vault for safekeeping and don't want it to come into contact, because any curse that is able to get their hands on it immediately wants to eat the fingers, because eating the fingers allows you to gain a tremendous amount of power. And so Itadori was with Megumi as they were fighting a curse in episode 1, and Megumi was getting his and Itadori was getting his shit kicked in by the curse because, well, he normal human, he just a little strong, he don't know how to use jujutsu. So what do? Logic. You just you just eat the finger of Sukuna. Except any normal human that would kill. But anime. So, of course, he didn't die. He just internalized that power and became known as the vessel of Sukuna. Sukuna, when he first ate the finger, Sukuna sort of took over, and he was sort of beating the shit out of Megumi and whatever until Gojo came in. And so essentially what happened was Itadori was able to internalize that power and sort of suppress Sukuna. He's able to keep him at bay because he has a strong enough will to be able to fight him and maintain his conscience, which fascinates me because it's like, what happens when he goes to sleep? But apparently he stays normal. All right, I don't, just roll with it. Okay, and so now Itadori is on his path to, gaining all 10 of Sukuna's fingers and becoming essentially the strongest sorcerer, because as stated by Gojo Satoru, Itadori is one of the few people that has the inherent ability and the potential to become a as great or greater sorcerer than he is. He has enough faith and in his student. And so Itadori is now on his way to, finding those fingers and, of course, fighting the curses that he finds along the way. Yuji is, however kind, he still feels some semblance of sadness for the curses that he kills. He does not just see them as, like, objects and just evil. He understands that, it's really their inherent nature, and he sort of pities them. And this is seen in several of his fights. It's not a particularly rare event. However, I just want to mention this really quickly. The college is not so liking of Itadori, and so they came to the conclusion that the most logical thing to do is, well, you use him. You feed him the 10 fingers, and as soon as he's done that, because essentially as soon as he eats the finger, it essentially gets destroyed. It's never going to materialize again. That's it. He has it, and it's digested. It's not coming back. Even if he dies, no matter what happens, it's gone. And so what's the best thing? Because, well, Sukuna is really powerful. You don't want him to come back. You just feed them all to Itadori because he's the only human alive. And I believe it was stated in like a couple hundred years that he's the first human that's able to suppress Sukuna. And so they just want to feed him all 10 of the fingers and then just kill him. And then, boom, they're done. No more Sukuna, nothing to worry about. They're good. Gojo can take out any other curse that exists in the world. Bing, bang, boom, humanity is safe. But Itadori is not so keen on dying. And so his thought process is, Fivehead, I'm just going to convince them that I'm such a good guy, you shouldn't kill me. He's just attempting to work hard for the college, trying his best to prove his worth to them and prove his ability that he's able to control Sukuna to a point that even after they feed him all 10 fingers of Sukuna, they should not kill him, but rather keep him alive and use his strength to fight curses. And so that's really it. This is pretty obvious, but Gojo Sotaro is obviously the sensei of Itadori Yuji, and he, of course, has two classmates. I don't like two partners. Them obviously being Megumi and Nobara. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that name, but I am like really sorry. It's the hammer wielding girl who uses like nails, which is a very fascinating technique. Yeah, and I'll just quickly go over some of his jujutsu, some of the jujutsu that Itadori uses rather. Jesus. He has something called Great Cursed Energy, which is really just cursed energy originating from the parts of the special grade curse, Sukuna. He doesn't seem to have any innate talent, but he has shown great proficiency with learning how to control cursed energy. He also has an attack known as Divergent Fist, which is after Yuji lands a punch on his target, the cursed energy flows and makes a stronger second impact. It's like one punch causing 2 points of impact, essentially. It connects. It's like the physical force of the punch lands immediately as the punch lands, and then the cursed energy hits from behind that. And second is Black Flash, a technique that creates a spatial distortion when a user connects with an impact of cursed energy within 0.000001 seconds of a physical hit. The phenomenon causes cursed energy to flash black, creating a more potent attack to the power of 2.5 times of a normal hit. Currently, Yuji is capable of using Black Flash 4 times in a row and has performed it a total of 9 times. I believe that is everything that I want to run over with Itadori Yuji. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all the normal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Thanks, guys.